I think you've all heard the practitioners from the industry, the restaurant industry, the supply chains, the frozen snacks industry, etc. And I would try to build on many of the threads and the issues which they have raised earlier, while trying to bring in the perspective of how this industry can be financed also. I think, today's mantra basically is think big, act fast. And it's very, very appropriate considering that the services sector, which is the industry from which all of us sitting here are, contributes about 64% of the country's GDP. It was mentioned, of course, that the restaurant industry contributes about 0.3% of the GDP, but I think we need to look at it in a much more holistic manner at the supply chain, at the processing industry, etc., and possibly the contribution is much, much larger. Now, what are the challenges which you would face probably in raising finance? And the other side of that is, what is it that the bankers, why is it that the bankers have a problem possibly in financing this kind of an industry? What are the challenges really? I think if we look at it purely from the point of view of the restaurant industry to start with, quite a bit of the restaurant industry probably operates from rented premises. So the first challenge is collaterals as far as a bank is concerned. Where does he get his security from? We talked about a lot of intangibles, brand building, etc. The cost of brand building is phenomenal. If you want financing for that, while a bank could look at financing it, again, a bank doesn't get secured in any way when he finances an intangible. We talked about the supply chain management. How do you get financing? Again, with all the vicissitudes of the farming industry, etc., with all the kind of uncertainties attached to that, how does a banker look at financing that? The infrastructure part of it, the cold storage chains, etc., again need financing. And then, every project coming up in this industry would need two kinds of financing typically. Project finance, if there's land, building involved. Plant and machinery is definitely there, project finance for that. And in some cases, working capital. It may not be a requirement for restaurant industry, which is a cash-based industry, getting money practically every day. At this juncture, I think let us first and foremost understand what is the role of SIDBI. SIDBI is the principal institution for promoting, financing, and developing the micro, small, and medium enterprises sector. The emphasis is on the word enterprises and not industry. We used to be a bank for industries. Still, the definition was changed to what is called MSME, micro, small, and medium enterprises today. And since we are dealing with both industries, the processing industry, the services industry, I'll just define both for your understanding. The manufacturing industry is defined, medium sector is investment in plant and machinery up to 10 crore rupees. Other than land, building, margin money for working capital and other expenses, the core investment in plant and machinery up to 10 crores. The small scale sector is defined as investment in plant and machinery up to 5 crores. And the micro sector is investment up to 25 lakh rupees, basically. On the services side, the definition is lower, with the micro sector being investment in equipment up to 10 lakh rupees. The small scale enterprises sector is defined as investment in equipment up to 2.5 crore rupees. And the medium scale enterprises sector is investment up to 5 crore rupees, as against 10 crores in industry. I think to end what Franchise India has said, your growth is our business. Let me also say that everyone's growth here is my business, really. Thank you so much.